Hi everyone. So here actually I made this video from just topic 27 and 28, and then somebody wrote me that it doesn't have any sound. So crazy. So I saw I was just, I think, maybe didn't pay attention or something happened. I don't know, but right now I am ready to cry because I have to redo it. So it doesn't matter. So here, first of all, I wanted to tell you, just I changed the picture for question, for example 3. um, I did it the other way. So here it was top, and here it was down. So it doesn't change the solution, doesn't change the solution at all, but it makes more sense this way. Okay, so but still I have this as edge, this as edge, I have this as arm, which is the radius, and but the rest is very the same. I don't need to change that part. Okay, so now I go to continue here, and it's very sad I did all of them, but I have to redo it here. So let me go to this one. It's easier because I removed it for that, and then I so I wanted to redo it, so I removed all of what I wrote. Okay, so that's here, and then okay, yes. Okay, so a 20-meter ladder leans against a building. Okay, so the ladder is constant, so the ladder doesn't change. Okay, so but the building is also, so just here, so the building also doesn't move. So building is here. Okay, and the ladder is here. Oops, right, this way. Okay, so you just make it maybe more beautiful if I can. Yeah. Okay, so let me straight do it. Okay, so that way. Okay, so this is the ladder, and this is 20-meter here, right? This is the ladder, this is the building. Okay, it says the foot of the ladder is pulled away from the building, means I hold this part and I pull it to this side, to right side. So this part is increasing. What is the rate? What is the speed of this increasing? Okay, so it's 2 meters per second. Okay, what happened to the top? When I pull the ladder to the right, the top comes down. Okay, so this part is decreasing. The blue one is decreasing because it comes down. Okay, for these kind of questions, related rates, I told you, you need a you need an equation. So either the equation must be given to you, like the previous question, which is the cone, and we know volume of the cone, or I have to find the equation. Okay, so what is the equation here? See, the ladder doesn't change. Okay, the building doesn't change, but here, this part, if this is x is changing and x is increasing. If this is y is also changing. What is x prime? X prime, and the rate of change for x is 2 meters per second. That's increasing. That's the speed of this increase. This increasing is happening in this speed. Now I want to find y prime. It says how fast. How fast means the speed. So I want to find y prime. I don't know y prime. These kind of questions, I have to write the equation. Either it's given to me or I can just find it on my own. Then I do derivative of both sides. Remember, all the variable will be just you have to find will be based on t, based on time, and you have to find the derivative based on time. Okay, let me just close the door. Here, what is my equation here? Based on Pythagorean theorem, when I have 90 degree here, I should do x squared plus y squared equal 400. Why? Because it's 20 squared. So either the equation is given to me, I have to find it. I found it here. Perfect. So now I do derivative of both sides. Related rates says all of them are based on time. So for all of them, you need x prime, y prime, z prime, r prime, for all of them. Okay, so here I do x squared plus y squared derivative equal 0. Derivative of 400, 0. Okay, so what happened then? 2x, x squared, maybe I can write it bigger. Okay, so 2x, sorry, I say x squared. 2x x prime plus 2y y prime equals 0. So I want to find y prime. So it's 2y y prime equal minus 2x x prime. What is y prime then? I can cancel 2 and 2. So I say y prime is minus x prime divided by y. What is x prime? X prime is given to me. How about x and y? I told you for this kind of questions, you need to have x and y at a certain time. Look at the question. It says how fast y is coming when the foot is 10 meters from the building. When means at that moment. Okay, so it says the foot is 10 from the building. Oh, good. So I know x is 10. Okay, perfect. So I have y prime equal minus 10 times 2 divided by y. Then you say, how can I find y? I tell you y. For y, you can go to this equation. I said at what time? At the time you have x equal 10. So you have to just substitute. Okay? You have to substitute 10. So it's 10 squared, right? Plus y squared equal 20 squared. So what is y squared then? So y squared is 400 minus 100. So y squared is 300 and y is radical 300. Remember, don't use plus minus because y must be positive. Of course, I cannot have negative. Okay? So, I either have the equation or I find it. It's here. I do derivative of both sides. Everything has derivative. Everything has x prime, y prime, z prime. Okay? When I say, what is the rate of change of this? When I have rate of change of that. Means all of them are based on time. When I say when y is 10, when x is 10, means I am talking about time. So then I find y prime. Y prime has x and y also as well as x prime. X prime is coming from the question. X and y, one of them is coming from the question. One of them I can find it using the equation that I have. Perfect. So now y prime is minus 20 divided by radical 300, which is, if I can find my calculator, I'll be so happy. 20 divided by radical 300, which is minus 1.154. I underline that, check that, it is almost minus 1. This. Why minus? Because it's decreasing, because y is coming down. Okay, so I can say the ladder is falling at this rate. When I see negative, that's just direction, because it's decreasing. Okay, So, very nice. Now I can go to the next question. The next question very, very similar to question 3. Okay? A paper cup has the shape of a cone. Okay, the paper cup is here, has a shape of a cone. Okay? What is the height? 8. It is that, which is this one. And the radius is this one, 3 centimeter. Water is poured into the cup at this rate. Means V prime is this rate, centimeter cube per second. Okay? So means V per second, V prime per time, means dV over dt. That's why you see second. Okay? This is V prime. So it says how fast is water level rising when the water level is this, means H, when H is 6 centimeter deep. But I have R as well. So we saw it in the other question. Okay? First of all, you have to say V is, because it's cone, V is pi R squared H divided by 3. Remember, when you have two variables, find and you can remove one of them. Can I remove? Yes. Here I know H divided by R is 8 divided by 3. So R is 3H divided by 8. Yes? H divided by R, 8 divided by 3, both of them centimeter. I don't need to do any change. Be careful with the units. And then I substitute. So V is pi 3H divided by that squared H. Yes? Because it says, divided by 3. Okay? Pi divided by 3 R squared H. Okay, simplify. It is pi 9H squared H divided by 364, which is cancel this and this, so it is 3 pi H cubed divided by 64. Perfect. Now I have V based on just H. But if I want to find the derivative of V, I have to do derivative of product rule. And it's hard. So I have to do R prime and then H, 2R, R prime, multiple H, and then H prime, multiple R squared, product rule, okay? So first I have to look at the equation that I have. It's either given to me, for this question is given to you. Then you say, oh, I have R and H, so how about I remove one of them? So I can remove one of them, it's here. Okay? I can remove it, because I can find the equation between H and R. I can find the relationship. Then I find R, and then I substitute, and then I have the answer here. So now what is V prime? Okay, V prime is 3 pi over 64, 3H squared H prime. And you want to find H prime, right? So H prime is 64 V prime divided by 9 pi H squared. Okay? So 64 V prime divided by 9 pi H squared. What is V prime? V prime is 2. So it's 64 times 2 divided by 9 pi. What is H? Yes, H is given to me 6. Okay? And I can find the answer. So it's, let me see. It's 64 multiple 2 divided by this guy. Okay, I can find the answer. It's very similar to the other question. So whatever I did for number 3, I can do it for this one as well. Okay, so I can find the answer for h. That's h prime is 0.75. Am I right here? Did I write it? No. So 754, and I can underline that, check that it is 0.75. So 0.75 what for h? Centimeter per second. So it is increasing with this rate. Okay, so find the equation. It's either given to you or you have to find it, like question 2. Then look at the variables. If you have two variables on the other side, it will be hard because you have to do product rule. You have to do r prime multiple h plus h prime multiple r squared. That's hard. And I don't have any information about r prime. I don't have any information about r prime. If I do, I can, but I don't. So I find the relationship between h and r. I remove h. I find r. I substitute. And then when I do that, it's 3h over 8. So I just simplify it. Okay. Let me check if so it's 964. So 3, and then so far so good. Okay. And then I just have to, so from there, it's just solving for one variable. And you are just solving one equation, and you are just doing what we did, review week number 1 and 2. So you are doing for that. Okay, so this is Wiley plus question, and I really like to I added the picture for you because a student didn't understand the question because of the picture. Okay, so check the picture here and then try to do Wiley plus questions, and hopefully you can do it because it's not hard. The question is not hard, so it's Pythagorean theorem and it's not hard at all, but it was a little bit just hard for a student in order to understand what's going on and what is the picture and how to image it. Okay, so now I can go to this lesson and hopefully everything will be fine. Okay, so I need to do this and this and this, yes, here. Okay, optimization. If you go to university, you can see more details, and even you can see a course about it. You can see one semester course that you want to optimize something. For example, you want to minimize cost, you want to maximize the benefit. Okay, and it's very beautiful topic, but here we do just some examples and just to show you that topic. Okay, optimization, it's application of derivative. I want to minimize or maximize something. So it reminds me maximum minimum. Okay. So what should I do here? Maybe here I want to maximize something, or maybe I want to minimize something. So I have to find the first derivative and I have to put equal 0 and I have to find x or y. Okay. So let me just do it on example. So I don't talk about this because then so I just have to waste your time. So we can see it on an example. Okay, let's do this example. So just you can listen and see what's going on. Find two positive numbers. So I am looking for two positive numbers whose product is 100 and the summation is minimum. Okay, read. I'm looking for two numbers. Okay, so identify the variables first. Read the question. See, I want to find two numbers. Okay, so I can say let's define x and y, two numbers here. Good. So write the equations. What are the equations? So two positive numbers, I can say. Okay, two positive numbers. Two positive numbers. Okay. What do I want? I want x times y be 100. And I want summation x and y, which is x plus y, would be minimum. The summation would be minimum. Okay. I want to minimize this function, but I don't know how because it's based on x and y. So I would say, what should I do? I know x, y should be 100, and I want to minimize the summation. I would say, how about if I test some number? Okay, can I check 1 times 100? Okay, 1 times 100, 1 times 100. Okay, 1 times 100 in 100 is 100. 1 plus 100 is 101. How about 2 times 50? 2 times 50 is 100, and 2 plus 50 is 52. Oh, this is better than 101 because I want to minimize it. How about 4 and 25? 4 and 25 is 100, and 4 plus 25 is 29. Oh, maybe I can find a smaller than that. So I cannot continue this way because it's time consuming, and maybe I make a mistake, and maybe sometimes it doesn't have any way to find the answer. So I would say, what should I do? I want to find two numbers. When I multiply them 100, when I add them, minimize will be minimum. Okay, I want to make this function minimum. I know I have to find derivative, but I can't because it's x and y. So I tell you, find y from here. So you have to use your equation to find one of the variable and remove it. So y equal 100 divided by x. So summation based on x is, I don't have x and y. Now I just have x plus 100 times x power minus 1. Perfect. Now I have just one function based on one variable, which I can do it. Perfect. Okay. So I am looking for two numbers. If I multiply them 100, and the summation is minimum, but the summation is x plus y, I can't. So I find y from one of them, and then I substitute. Now I can find minimum. How do I find minimum? Oh, I know. I do critical point. So you find the first derivative, right? So what is the first derivative? The first derivative is 1 minus 100 x power minus 2. Okay, I do first derivative equals 0. First derivative equals 0. So it's 100 divided by x squared equal 1, and x squared equal plus minus, so x is plus minus 10, but I cannot accept minus because I said positive. So x is just 10. Okay, x is just 10. What is y? Okay, so I do y equal 100 divided by 10. So the answer is 10. Okay, so I found two numbers. See, two positive numbers whose product is 100 and the summation is minimum is 10 and 10. Both of them should be equal. So you can write the yes, you can write the statement here. Also, before I do that, I have to check if this is really a minimum. How? I have to do the second derivative. Look at this. The second derivative is minus 100 times minus 2 x power minus 3, which is 200 divided by x power 3, and this guy at 10 is positive. Yes, I have minimum for sure. When I have second derivative positive, I have minimum. So I have to find the equation. I want to find minimum. If it is based on two variables, I have to remove one of the variables. So I have to have more information. I have a relationship between x and y. I know xy is 100. I find y, I substitute, and then I have just one variable. So I find the first derivative equals 0. That's critical point. I check if it makes minimum, and then I'm done. I find y, and then I'm done. So if I go here, I can show you what I did was that, but when I continue, I see I have 5 and 20, which makes 100, and what is 5 plus 20? 25. I have 10 and 10, which is 100, and when I add them, 10 plus 10 is 20. And this is the minimum one. This is the one that makes minimum. But for many questions, I cannot go by this, like try and find the answer. And it's very time consuming, and I make a mistake maybe. Okay, so I don't want to do that. Okay, so now, how about this question? Find two positive numbers with a product of 200. Product is 200, and the summation of one number and the twice of the other number. Okay, so I can say define x first number, define y second number. Why? Because I said first number and second number. Okay, so what do I have? xy is 200. What do I have? X plus 2y is x plus 2y is I want to make it minimum. Okay, so it is sxy, the same as that question. Okay, but I can't, I have x and y. Okay, so I find y from here. Y is 200 over x, and I substitute here. So I have sx is x plus 400 divided by x, which is x plus 400 x power minus 1. Okay, good. So I have my equation. I want to make it minimum. I have x and y. I need another relationship to remove one of them. I have it already. I find y, I substitute, and I have just one variable. Now I find s prime, because I want to make it minimum, s prime x. Oh, it's 1 minus 400 x power minus 2. Okay, so 1 minus 400 divided by x squared equals 0. So 400 divided by x squared equals 1, and x is 20. Why not minus? Because it says positive numbers. X is 20. How about y? X is 20. How about y? Okay, so y is 200 divided by 20, which is 10. Okay, so two numbers that makes the product 10 times 20, 200, and if I add 20 plus 2 times 10, 40 is the minimum for summation of these two numbers. So let's try some possibilities. Okay, possibilities is, some possible answers are 1 times 200. Okay, 1 times 200, and if I do 200 plus double 2 is 202, or 1 plus 400, because it says 1 with the other double. Okay, so it is 401 then. No, it's a very large number. How about 2 times 100? Okay, so I can do 100 plus 4, because it says double the second. So it is 104, or I can do 2 plus 200, because double. So 202. No, it's a very large number. See, if I go this way, it will be so time consuming, and maybe I don't see the right answer, and I'm not sure, but here I'm doing mathematically. So I am finding the equation I want to make minimum. I have two variables. I find another relationship. I find another variable. I remove one of the variables. I substitute. So I have one equation and one variable. And then from here, I am just doing the minimum. So I find derivative. I put equal 0. I find critical point. I find the second derivative. I find the second derivative, I check if it is minimum, and then I have the answer, right? What is the second derivative? The second derivative is, the second derivative is 800 x power minus 3. When I substitute, I see second derivative at 20 is positive. So therefore, I have minimum for sure. I have minimum at x equal 20. There is minimum for sure because second derivative is positive. Okay? So, and then I found the answer. So see here I wrote topic, so 25 of 2020 because I did another video and it didn't have sound. Okay, so I can now remove that and say this is my second time. So 26 of March 2020, and hopefully this is fine. Thank you.